Right, everyone. Let's just jump right into it. We're all busy, right? Life is hectic. But at the same time, you got to stay ahead of the curve, see what's new, what's coming, what's possible. And that's kind of what we do here, right? Look at
Yeah.
what's emerging and how we can leverage that.
Mhm.
And today's a really interesting one because we're going to look at using AI to kickstart side hustles. That's
Yeah.
right. AI-powered side hustles that don't actually require any initial investment.
That's right. And we've been diving deep into this YouTube video by Jensen Tung.
Yeah, Jensen Tung.
And he lays out this really compelling case for using AI to potentially earn, well, he claims, hundreds, even thousands of dollars a day. Now, we always like to go a little deeper dig beneath the surface. And our goal today is to really look at the practical side of it.
Huh.
What can you actually do? How can you actually get started with these AI tools?
Absolutely. We're not just going to take those claims at face value. We want to look at the actual steps involved. And what's really fascinating is that all of these revolve around one free platform,
Mm-hmm.
and that is CapCut.
Yeah, CapCut.
So our mission today is to give you a breakdown of these opportunities so you can see if any of them spark your interest, and maybe even test a few of them out yourself. So let's jump right into the first one. Let's talk about breathing new life into old photos.
Photo colorization. Yeah, this is cool. So the idea is to take those old black and white photos that everybody has in albums and boxes and use AI to add realistic color to them. And Jensen brings up a really interesting point. This is a service that would be super valuable to seniors and their families because they have all these nostalgic images. They
Right.
want to see their parents or their grandparents in full color.
Right. Makes those memories just come alive.
Mm.
And Fiverr is a platform he mentions as a place where people are offering this
Yeah.
for about $5 to $10 per photo,
Yeah.
which, might not sound like a lot, but here's where the efficiency of AI comes in.
Right.
CapCut has a tool called a photo colorizer.
Mm-hmm.
And in the video, Jensen demonstrates it. And it's literally as simple as drag and drop. The AI does it in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's what's amazing. You could potentially process a large volume of photos
Right.
very, very quickly. But I think the key here is that to really, maximize your earning potential, you probably want to think about offering more than just colorization.
Absolutely. And CapCut allows for that because they also have an old photo restoration tool
Right.
that handles those issues with fading and scratches and all the kind of imperfections you find in those old photos.
Yeah.
And then they've got an image upscaler. So you can sharpen the details and increase the resolution. So you could package all these as a comprehensive photo restoration service.
Yeah, make it a package deal.
But then the question is, how do you stand out?
Right. Because if it's easy to do, which clearly it is with AI, there's going to be competition.
Yeah.
And Jensen even notes this. He gives it a 1 out of 5 stacks rating for earning potential, which basically means that because there's so much competition, you might be limited in terms of how much you can charge.
Right.
So what he suggests is rather than just listing on Fiverr or one of these platforms, going direct, reaching out to retirement homes, even funeral homes. I mean, these are places where people have a lot of old photos.
Yeah. They would place value on that.
Right.
That makes a ton of sense.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the second AI side hustle,
Yeah.
creating clothing model photos.
Okay.
Now, this is interesting because if you've ever bought or sold clothes online, you know how important it is to see what that piece of clothing looks like on an actual person.
Right.
And traditionally, that involves a model, a photographer, setting up a whole photo shoot, which gets really expensive.
expensive. Yeah.
So this is where AI comes in and really changes the game. CapCut for Business has an AI model tool where you can upload a photo of the garment that you want to showcase, and then they've got this library of models. And apparently there are quite a few diverse options in there.
That's great.
And the AI just applies the clothing to the model.
Boom, done.
I mean, it sounds incredibly straightforward.
It does.
So the question is, if traditionally this has cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
will businesses be willing to pay similar rates for AI-generated images?
I doubt it.
Probably not, right?
Yeah, probably not on the same level. I mean, it's clearly a different product.
Yeah.
But the video estimates you could probably charge something between $20 and $100 per photo
Okay.
using this AI tool. So again, Fiverr is mentioned, but also maybe reaching out to, smaller clothing brands.
Good,
That
sir.
might be on a tighter budget because they could get these professional looking images.
Without spending an arm and a leg.
Exactly.
So the difficulty level here, again, rated is very low, 1 of 5 sweat drops. Earning potential gets a little bit of a bump, 2 out of 5 stack.
Yeah,
With the emphasis being on volume.
right.
You might not make a huge amount per photo, but if you could do a lot of
It
them.
adds up.
All right. Let's move on to something that's, I think, become absolutely crucial online, especially with the rise of things like TikTok and Instagram Reels. And that is captioning videos.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, think about it. You're scrolling through social media, you've got the sound off. Captions are essential.
They are. And it also, helps with accessibility
Absolutely.
for people who might have hearing impairments.
It's become expected.
It is expected. Yeah, it just boosts engagement across the board. So
Yeah.
the demand is definitely there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, Fiverr is brought up as a potential platform to offer this service with earnings ranging, roughly $10 to $60 per video,
Right.
depending on its length.
Makes sense.
But what's really impressive is how quickly AI can handle the initial part of this.
Right.
So CapCut has an auto captioning feature.
Okay.
And it's as simple as clicking on captions and then auto captions. And the AI just transcribes the video.
Almost instantly. Yeah.
I mean, it's really remarkable. Now, of course, and this is important to note, you're going to want to review and correct any errors
Of course. Yes.
because AI is not foolproof.
AI is a great starting point, but it always needs that human oversight.
Absolutely. So attention to detail is going to be key if you're going to offer this as a professional service. And just like with the photos, there are opportunities to kind of upsell your captioning services.
Definitely. I mean, you could offer different fonts and styles for the captions.
Right, to match a brand aesthetic.
Exactly. Or even animations.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Make them a little more engaging. And then you could potentially offer translation
Oh, that's interesting.
into different languages. Although, as Jensen rightly points out, you need to be proficient in those languages yourself to ensure accuracy. You
Right.
can't just trust AI to translate perfectly without a human checking it.
And the idea of direct outreach, I think, makes a lot of sense for this,
Yeah.
especially with, smaller and medium-sized content creators
Mm-hmm.
who don't have the time or the resources to do their own captioning.
And they're busy making the content.
Think about podcasters who are putting clips on social media, businesses that have webinars, interviews, even real estate agents.
Oh, yeah.
With video tours of properties, there's just a huge demand for this.
Yeah.
And if you can build those direct, ongoing relationships,
That's the key.
that's going to be more consistent than just hoping for gigs on a freelance platform. So difficulty for video captioning, 1 out of 5 sweat drops,
Mm-hmm.
earning potential 2 out of 5 stacks.
Not bad. Not bad.
All right, let's move on to product photos.
Okay.
Now, again, this is crucial for anybody selling anything online.
Absolutely.
High-quality product photos can make or break a sale. And the video lays out 2 main ways to tackle this using CapCut.
Right.
The first is really just that classic, but, still essential.
Right.
Putting the product on a clean white background.
Right. Makes it look professional.
Absolutely. And CapCut has this really great remove background tool in their online photo editor.
Uh-huh.
And it's got this automatic option, so you just upload the photo, click a button, and boom, background is gone.
Time.
And apparently this is being offered on Fiverr for about $5 a photo, which makes sense because it's so fast and easy to do.
Yeah, if you can do it in like 30 seconds, you could do a lot of them.
But the second approach, this is where it gets a little bit more creative,
Yeah.
offering more detailed custom backgrounds.
Okay.
So using CapCut's Change Background tool, which Jensen mentions, is found within the Apps section.
Okay.
The AI can actually analyze the product
Wow.
and generate all sorts of interesting backgrounds, like interactive backgrounds, thematic backgrounds, that really make that product pop.
It sounds really cool.
So you can definitely charge more for this than just for a white background.
Yeah.
And Jensen talks about his own experience in university doing product photography
Yeah.
and how he spent hours manually removing backgrounds in Photoshop.
I've done that. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's tedious.
It's tedious work.
He was doing that for product development hardware and earning over $100 a session. But he talks about how these AI tools just changed the game.
It's a game changer for sure. I mean, what used to take hours can now be done in minutes.
And this is really what we're seeing across the board with these AI tools.
Yeah.
It's democratizing a lot of these tasks that used to require very specialized skills
Yeah.
and a huge time commitment. However, there's this valid point that the video brings up. What if the client doesn't even have good photos to send you?
Right. You still need the base material.
Yeah.
You need to start with something.
We still need some basic photography skills in that case.
Yeah.
Because the AI can edit, but it can't create from nothing.
It's not magic.
Yeah, exactly. So the AI editing part, rated as 2 out of 5 sweat drops for difficulty. But having some photography knowledge is still going to be beneficial for this particular side hustle. Earning potential gets 3 out of 5 stacks, so pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right. Our fifth opportunity takes us into the world of social media graphics.
Right.
Businesses need eye-catching visuals for their online presence.
All the time.
And this is actually an area where Jensen himself had success freelancing in the past, and he was earning thousands doing this.
Wow.
So CapCut, again, steps in to make this even more accessible. They have a text design tool
Oh, that sounds interesting.
where you can describe the kind of graphic you're looking for.
Okay.
You can upload an image, and it'll generate some options.
Wow.
And they've got a built-in library of templates,
That's great.
specifically for different social media platforms, like Square for Instagram,
Yeah.
Instagram Store, you know, all those.
Right.
And then you can also start from scratch if you want to.
Right.
So I think the key here is, again, building those ongoing relationships
Yeah.
with businesses.
Right.
If you can consistently deliver high-quality, engaging visuals, you know companies are going to want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
So proactive outreach, showcasing your creative abilities, that's going to be key.
Yeah. And a smart way to kind of increase your value would be to offer to write the social media copy.
Oh, that's a good thought.
That goes along with the graphics.
Yeah.
And, there are even AI writing tools like ChatGPT
I was just thinking that.
that
Yeah.
could help you streamline this process for your clients.
You can package that whole thing together.
Exactly.
So the difficulty level here is rated 3 out of 5 sweat drops. Because, using the templates is straightforward. But crafting really custom and effective designs, you probably need to understand some graphic design principles.
Right.
So earning potential is a respectable 3 out of 5 stacks. Jensen describes this as a great gig.
Nice.
No, let's talk about content repurposing.
Content repurposing. All right.
So video creators, they're constantly needing to take their longer form content,
Yeah.
their YouTube videos, their podcasts, and transform that into these short form clips for platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels.
Right.
They're often willing to pay someone to do this.
Absolutely. Because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To constantly be chopping things up.
Absolutely. And typically this involves a couple of key tasks. One is adding captions, which
Yeah.
we've already covered. CapCut's got the auto captioning.
Yeah.
And then the other is resizing the video to fit the different aspect ratios of all these platforms.
Right.
And CapCut's online video editor makes this surprisingly easy.
Okay.
It's got preset options for all those common social media sizes, and even this really cool preview mode for TikTok.
Oh, that's handy.
So you can see exactly how that clip is going to look when it goes live.
That's awesome.
So, offering additional services beyond just resizing and captioning
Right.
can make you even more valuable. You could add, some basic video effects, incorporate some B-roll, create some interesting transitions between clips. The video suggests maybe targeting creators who have, relatively straightforward videos,
Yeah.
talking head segments, interviews, podcasts. Those are easier to kind of repurpose into shorter, engaging clips.
That makes sense.
So content repurposing, using these AI-assisted tools, 3 out of 5 sweat drops for difficulty,
Okay.
requires some understanding of video editing principles.
Okay.
And the earning potential, also 3 out of 5 stacks.
Not bad.
All right, let's move on to number 7 on our list. This one is all about thumbnails.
Thumbnail.
And these are absolutely critical for success on a platform like YouTube,
Yeah.
because that thumbnail is often the first thing that a potential viewer sees.
The first impression.
Yeah, and it really influences whether they click on the video or not.
Makes sense.
And according to this, video creators on Fiverr are charging up to $50 per thumbnail.
Oh, wow.
And Jensen even suggests that YouTubers might be willing to pay more than that,
Oh, wow.
given how important that thumbnail is for attracting views.
Right.
So CapCut does have a range of features for thumbnail design. You can add text, photos, stickers. That background removal tool is useful here.
Yeah.
But Jensen makes a really important point. He says a good-looking thumbnail isn't always a clickable thumbnail.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So it's not just about aesthetics.
Yeah, it's got to grab attention.
Yeah, it's got to make people want to watch the video.
Exactly.
So there's research involved, right? You need to understand.
Yeah. What
works in different niches.
So the suggestion is to proactively reach out to YouTubers, big or small, or even businesses that have YouTube channels, and present them with a portfolio of your thumbnail designs.
Yeah.
Or, even better, create personalized examples
Well, that's a great idea.
tailored to their specific content. That really shows you understand their brand.
Yeah.
So, difficulty here. 3 out of 5 sweat drops for creating effective thumbnails. And earning potential, also 3 out of 5 stacks. So we're going to start with video editing itself.
Okay.
This is a skill that's been in demand pretty much forever.
Yeah, for sure.
And, Jensen himself earned a significant amount doing this in university.
Right.
So CapCut does offer AI-powered tools that can automate some of those basic editing tasks. They have this product URL to ads tool
Okay.
where you literally paste in a product link. And the AI analyzes the website and generates these video ads.
Yeah.
They also have a library of pre-designed business video templates
Okay.
where you can drag and drop elements. But it's really important to understand that if you want to make serious money as a video editor,
Yeah.
that still requires going beyond these automated features. You still need to understand storytelling, pacing, visual effects, sound design, all of that stuff.
Right. The art of video editing.
Absolutely.
It's not just putting clips together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So AI can certainly lower that initial barrier to entry.
Right. For some of those very basic tasks.
But to become a skilled and sought-after video editor,
Yeah.
that still requires dedication. That still requires learning. So difficulty level jumps to 4 out of 5 sweat drops here because there's more complexity involved. But the earning potential also goes up to 4 out of 5 stacks. Right. Here we are at our final AI side hustle. And this one is a big one, becoming an influencer.
Oh, wow.
The video acknowledges the potential for really high earnings in this field.
Yeah, I think everybody sees that.
And what's really interesting is the emergence of AI influencers,
What?
or at least humans who are using AI strategically
Okay.
to enhance their influencer presence. And Jensen even mentions his own AI YouTube channel
Oh, interesting.
as an example. So CapCut has a couple of tools that are relevant here.
Okay.
Their AI character tool, which is currently on the mobile app, lets you generate this on-screen, human-like character
Oh, wow.
that can be programmed to say pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
And there are options for customizing its appearance, its voice.
Okay.
And then they have the script-to-video tool. This is within CapCut for Business.
Yeah.
And this aims to take, a text prompt, your script,
Right.
and generate an entire video.
Oh,
So the visuals, the background
Yeah.
music, the captions, even a voiceover.
I'm skeptical.
And the example they give in the video is, "Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about why you should subscribe to Jensen Tong." First of all, Jensen Tong is one of the best YouTubers in the gaming industry.
Okay.
So, it's pretty basic.
Yeah, it's not exactly Shakespeare.
It's definitely early stages here.
Yeah,
But it's a glimpse of what's possible, right?
definitely.
And the video acknowledges that the output from these fully automated tools, it's probably going to need some further editing, some refinement
Of course.
before you could hit that publish button.
Right. It's a tool. It's not the finished product necessarily.
Exactly. So, unsurprisingly, the challenge of becoming a successful influencer, even with AI, is rated as 5 out of 5 sweat drops. The most difficult of all the side hustles we've talked about.
It makes sense.
But the earning potential is also the highest.
Mm-hmm.
5 out of 5 stacks.
Oh, there you go. Risk reward.
Right. And as the video says, if you can make it work, the sky's the limit. So there you have it. 9 different AI-powered side hustles.
Yeah.
All of which can be explored using that free CapCut platform.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see this range of options, from very easy things that you can jump right into but might have lower individual payouts.
Yeah, because there's more competition.
Right, to things that require more skill and more effort, but could potentially lead to, much greater financial rewards.
It's really about finding the right fit for your skills, your interests, and how much time you're willing to put in.
Yeah.
So I think as we wrap up this deep dive, what's really fascinating to think about is just how rapidly these AI tools are evolving. How is this going to continue to reshape the landscape of earning opportunities, creative endeavors?
Yeah.
What new ways of making money or expressing our creativity might emerge that we can't even fathom today?
That's a great question. I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg here.
It's something to ponder for sure.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us. We will see you in the next deep dive.
See you next time.